here with. Dale Earnhardt Jr. has now joined us. He will be piloting the Chevrolet Pace car today. And so, Dale, why don't you just give us our thoughts on that opportunity?
Yeah, it's got asked if I would be interested in doing that, and it's such a historic racetrack and big race for the series, plus the relationship with Chevrolet that I've had for years. It just made a lot of sense to me, as long as everybody with NBC and the broadcast in mind. Obviously, I'll miss the front end of the show and probably won't get up into turn 3 until a few laps into the race, but we got to plan to make sure all that's real smooth, and so it'll be good to be a little bit of a bucket list kind of item for me, and looking forward to it.
All right. We have approximately 10 minutes with Dale before he has to go to his next stop. So we'll take questions now. Please state your name and affiliation. Okay?
Pat Ticola, NASCAR.com. Have there been any surprising challenges that have come up with the broadcasting stuff that you weren't really expecting?
I don't want. It's not a. It just takes a little bit of preparation, and you kind of get out of it what you put in, and it's really been pleasant. Everything across the board, from the relationships, the people, the work the necessary work that needs to be put in. But there's no major, surprises, I guess. I'll probably think of one when I walk out of here, but I've had a great time doing it, and I guess the one thing that is a little bit unsettling, not in a bad way, but a bit unsettling, is how different we do it each week. I in my mind, I had this, consistent, we'd be in the booth, and I'd be sharing the booth with one of the other 3 guys. They may move those guys around a little bit, but boy, we have really done each broadcast, it seems, completely different, and so that's kept you on your toes. And like today, we're going to go into this. I mean, I know it's not the challenge the drivers face with no practice, but we're going to go into this broadcast doing a radio style, which I've only done once at the Glen, and we're going to go into it with no practice. That's an interesting challenge. The practice is a bit of a way to gather your thoughts for the race and take notes and kind of reintroduce yourselves to the storylines and new storylines that and so much content is created through that Friday and Saturday experience, and we don't have that, so that'll be interesting to see what that does for me, and whether I've prepared enough or not prepared enough throughout the weekend. I don't really know exactly what I could be doing, since I'm just sitting there waiting on things like everyone else. So it's been interesting though. Every week it's been a new challenge. I guess maybe it'll just be like that.
Zach Tansready, KickingTheTires.net. Your interview with Grant Bessinger was released this past week, and you talked about your concussions, Daytona, broadcasting, like you just said. A very deep, candid type of interview. I mean, how do you really enjoy that experience and Graham's his interview type of style? It seems like it really gets a lot out of people.
Yeah, you meet people like that and sit down. Him, Dan Patrick, there's a few people that just, you feel comfortable being, and it's just you and him in the room. You never imagine the response that something like that's going to get. You're never thinking about that during the interview. Had I been thinking about that, I might not have been as candid. But when it's just, and we were in a location that was comfortable with me. We were on my property, and so it was just like talking to a new friend. And I think sometimes I wonder if I'm a little bit too honest about certain things in my life, but going through those experiences, all my initiative is really just to try to help someone. If one person hears about the advice or the mistakes or the missteps that I made and makes a better choice, that's really all that matters to me. And there's only one way to help people is to share that information. And so hopefully, the book does that. We got our doctors on board with the book, which was incredibly helpful to add some credibility to that. And so I'm excited about the response from that once that comes out. But yeah, doing that type of interview is always enjoyable, and I hope to be as good at getting that out of people myself one day. You sit there while you're being interviewed, and you're sort of learning as well from a broadcasting standpoint. And I've always kind of watched Dan Patrick as well, and how does he get people to be so candid and honest, and it's about how you deliver the question, and Dan's real good at being short, so it almost forces the person being interviewed to expand, and he lets them, once they get to going, he just kind of backs up and lets them go. And so I've learned a lot just kind of watching people like that.
Dustin Albino, front stretch. Dale, you're getting back in the Xfinity car in a couple weeks at Richmond. How excited are you for that?
I'm looking forward to it. I didn't miss racing at the start of the year at all. I didn't miss driving much. When I got back to the broadcasting and started to really, plug into what the races were like and what was going on, you see moments in the races that make you wish you were out there doing that. And so I started to miss it a little bit. I like Richmond as a track, and it's real, pretty straightforward little racetrack. We have had success there, and so I'm not really putting any expectations or pressure on myself as far as performance. I just want to go run, have fun. It's the only time I'm going to race a car this year, and it may be the last time I race a car. I really don't know what our plans are going forward. I don't really have any initiative to drive a ton of races, so we'll just kind of see what kind of opportunities there are down the road with the sponsorships and so forth that help the rest of the company. But it's really just going to be, hopefully I get to run all the laps and just enjoy driving the car. The purest the only reason why you get behind the wheel of a race car is because it's fun and you enjoy the competition. Hopefully those are things that I get out of it, and try not to get to where I'm real competitive about it, and I don't want to, sweat over every lap and how fast we are in practice and all those things and make it a miserable experience, because if you're, most race car drivers tend to do that if you're not careful.
Holly Kane, NASCAR Wire Service. Hi, Dale. I wanted to ask you, watching you on television, it appears to be a very natural thing for you, and you've gotten, a lot of positive response about how you've done. Has it turned out from your angle to be as easy, using that word, just to do this as it appears?
No, I'm really nervous, so typically I don't like to be nervous. I'm anxious about how this day is going to go without any practice. Like I said, that opportunity to get in there and work a little bit during the practices sort of knocks the nerves down a little bit and brings down the anxiety some. And you get opportunities to sort of practice what racing is going to be like, because we're going to go around the horn where Bags tosses it to me, then I toss it to Jeff, and then the guys in the booth will take the front straightaway, and we'll kind of do this baton toss for a few laps, and that's kind of a nerve-wracking time because you get nervous. Your turn's coming up, and Bags is so good, you don't want to kill the energy that he's creating, and so you try to just do your job and get it to the next guy. You don't even, I didn't even pay attention to this stuff when I was in broadcasting and racing, so it's so funny, the complexities and things going on in the broadcast production side of it that you had no idea were happening when you're driving a car. But I'm just sort of, I hope to get a lot better, and I want to be around a long time. I want to do this for a while. I really enjoy it. So I think that I can. There's areas where I can improve, and got to pay my dues, kind of thing. So I'm doing that, but it's not easy. It feels stressful and constantly. There's some competition. It's not. There's really, really good people in that production team and in the booth. All the people are great personalities and fun to be around, but it's competitive in the sense that they lean on you to do your job and hold up your end, and you can't you can't come in ill prepared, and it's obvious when you're not doing your homework. It's obvious to everyone in the room. We spend so much time around each other, and so it's there's a little pressure, and it's good. It's competitive, and the team pushes you, and so I'm trying to find my place and try to do a good job, make them glad that they hired me.
All right, Dale, we appreciate your
Yeah.
time. Have fun
All
driving
right.
in the pace car
Thank you,
today.
guys.
And sorry, I know we didn't get everybody in, but Dale had a hard out today. So